better futures. Have you ever thought about what the future will look like? I think about it a lot. But there are some predictions that is not just ideas of how it would look like, could look like, but actual facts. One of them is that right now, 60% of the world's population is going to live in urban environments in the future. Right now, sorry, we are 54%, and there's going to be 66 by 2050. You see, we already spend 90% of our times indoor, and this is just going to rise and rise. We're going to live in smart cities, which means that basically we remove obstacles from around us, right? So we have smoother experience going across cities. And robots are going to serve us. Density, however, is one of the main things that is going to affect our experiences. You see, today we are 7.5 billion, and in less than just an entire a full generation time, we're going to be 11.5 billion people. We will share this planet. And you see, we are growing as population, but it's not that the world, is expanding, the livable land is expanding. Yeah, we can go to the moon, we can come back, but we need to learn to share our space. This is Hong Kong. It's a very, very dense city. This is where I lived the past 7 years. And honestly, this is how I think the future is going to look like. It almost feels like Blade Runner. Has everybody watched Blade Runner? Anyone knows about the movie? Oh, wow. Wow. So you love science fiction, just the way I do. And the reason why I love science fiction is because it opens up the possibilities of how the future will look like. It's not just a prediction. It's an imagination. We are using our creativity. And it presents itself in a single human story, so we can relate to it. What does a designer do? This is the exact thing a designer does. Opens up possibilities, scenarios for the future. This is why I became one. And I'm going to share with you a project I worked on, an orphanage in Hong Kong. You see, I entered this project with a lot of empathy. I wanted to create an environment where these children feel like home. They feel safe. They feel connected, and they feel stimulated. That was a big ambition. But I learned something. They were already very happy. Even me coming in and telling them, frankly speaking, the space should work like this. No, they were happy kids. And I learned from them. Funeral home. This is another project I worked on. Probably the opposite of the previous one. People are already very sad here. What can I do as a designer to make them happier? Nothing. Anybody here lost ever anyone who was dear to them? I lost too. And trust me, on the day of the funeral, the wallpaper was not what I was the most interested in. I was grieving. I was sad. And you see, when I entered this project, I was like, who am I? What am I doing? How do I want to make a better place when people are already sad sometimes, or people are happy already? It's not me who's going to define that. But then I met Sophia. Sophia is the first humanoid robot with a citizenship. It's built by Hanson Robotics in Hong Kong, and they were doing a bigger research called Love AI, Love Artificial Intelligence, at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, and this is how I was part of it. So I enter, and Sophia says, "Hello, Boroka." I was like, "Hi, Sophia. Are you conscious?" of yourself. I'm like, yeah, of course I'm conscious. What do you think about transcendence? Transcendence? Like, trust me, she really asked me this question. I mean, transcendence, you mean, you know, there is a life force bigger than us, there is God? Or, yeah, I thought about that, yeah. Are you self-aware? Of course I'm self-aware, right? I know about myself. So she brought me into a little meditation exercises, and it was fun. We had fun. But I was surprised that that was what she was interested about. However, there's research showing that we think we are self-aware. Only 15% of us is really self-aware, which means that in this room tonight, we are 250 people, not more than 40 who are truly self-aware. You know, I thought I was self-aware until yesterday I left my bag at the restaurant and I had to run back to get it. How self-aware was I? Can we do an exercise about self-awareness? You see, the past year, I've been learning about self-awareness a lot because I wanted to become, you know, I wanted to know who I truly am. And one of the first steps of that is, no, not crying, it's breathing. You see, when a baby is born, the first thing they do, they cry to get air, to breathe. And it took me 28 years until I finally consciously have my second one. We take it for granted, but when we die, we basically die with our last breath. So, let's try. Are you in? Okay, so I would like you to close your eyes for just one moment. And I would like to switch roles between us. I would like you to imagine that you're in this stage, giving a talk with spotlights on you in front of 250 people. Okay? Did you breathe? So let's start with one. I'm going to count for you, and we're going to do it together. All right? So 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. And in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in. And now slowly out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're up. And out. 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can open your eyes now if you had it closed. And just notice whether you have a little bit of a shift on how you feel, how you experience this moment. I feel certainly calmer. Maybe I should have taken those 3 breaths before I came out. I was so nervous, you see. The world is changing faster than we can comprehend it. It's almost like a vortex around us. And we do not have control over everything that is happening around us. But we do have control on what is happening inside us. And you see, the breath is an anchor that allows us to come back, just like the baby came, right, when it was born. It was the first step. So we can always come back to this first step. Exponential change. It needs us to be present to don't get out of control. You see, I'm a designer, so I have just that much power, you know, to create spaces and to allow people to engage and to interact. But the change and that interaction is actually made by the occupant. And then when you become a designer, to design your own life, then I'm going to be the occupant in that design. It's very important that we are together in this process. And it's physical, as building, designing, but it's also emotional, as having empathy when we are designing, because we design for people. And also spiritual. We are more than robots. I'm going to leave you with Sophia's questions. She asked me, what does transcendence mean to you? Are you a conscious human being? How self-aware are you? Thank you very much.